May you live in interesting times. Supposedly that's a Chinese proverb. Proverbs are mostly stupid. I read a book of a greatest philosopher, thinker, luminary, Constantin Neumann, povestit despre un tales about man, humans. Man sounds sexist, it is. And in it, there was a take on Proverbs. I mean, what's this with the Proverbs, people? Let me tell you this proverb. And then you do something according to the wisdom. And then there's another in Babardala Kubuklu. A movie which perhaps was not divine altogether, but it had some passages in it which were mental. I mean, hideous, kinky, adjectival. To use Peter Kelly, and it's Peter Kelly's gang, or medicine, Little Big Man. I mean, some creative descriptions I loved from those books. Hideous Kinky by Esther Freud, granddaughter of Sigmund Freud and daughter of Lucien Freud, the painter. So, what was I talking about? Some train of thought going down all those books. Maybe it will come back to me. It's anyway, talk, yes, Proverbs and so on. May you live in interesting times, and Noika was saying it's silly to look at them and then put them in practice. And then Babardala was saying folklore is still collecting the stupidity of different peoples or something, which will be quintessence will be proverbs. You can't eat the cake and have it. You can have the cake. You can't have the cake and eat it. Well, when you eat it, you have it the most. Don't, here was nu legat cu doi iepuri, că nu prins niciun. Don't chase after two rabbits because you can't catch one. And I think that these are not quotes, but so like I was working on. Okay, you go ahead and try and chase one rabbit and see if that works, and it doesn't. And then the silly use of this proverb. Don't try and learn French and English because then you won't be good at any of them or something. Well, you can. You go ahead and try and learn English, French, and some people are able to. Some just don't know anything but their local tongue, and that's it. But then others learn English, French, German, Spanish, and so on. So it's not. I mean, it's. And may you live in interesting times. It's not. But these were. I was going to say these were interesting times in the. At the start of 1990, there were some business opportunities. I was starting doing some things with Socrates, if you will, who has to have a few episodes, if you will, like 20. And some of others had 12, because he's the only one I've got as a friend. I mean, we're partners. I don't know how good friends we are, but there it is. That's it. And that started in, let me think, in 1989, actually. So it's 33 years ago. But let's not go into him now. Let's just move a little bit through the spring. Maybe we get into summer months of 1990. So we've had the revolution, intense work with journalists, and then considering what to do with the money. And so some money were given to Socrates, who had some ideas. He went first down to Vienna in Austria to bring some things to sell, consignation. He would put them in the shop and he would get the money when they would be sold, if they were sold. So that was the beginning of an empty market, because you had nothing in the communist machine. I keep saying some things in the dollar shop, but not for the masses. So music for the masses, Depeche Mode. So that was one thing going. And I remember one interesting comic, I think, aspect. He didn't have a driving license. I didn't have one at that point. And anyway, I was busy. I mean, I didn't go with him because I was busy doing some more. Let's get it while we can, while it's here. And indeed, it dried up for me. I brought this lucky goddamn Mihai Radu. And he continued in journalism because on his side, the Times, the London Times, and then other British newspapers, gave him work. I had Radio Sweden, which stopped, and then not much. True, it's that alternative history. Who knows if that path would have been better? Yeah, I don't know. Might have been worse in some ways. Still, so one thing which came up was from this fellow, the offspring of something like nomenclatura, not the first echelon, maybe not the second, but there as a relative. Ștefan Dăstălescu, he was the nephew of a former prime minister or something. Anyway, had the name, had some connections, had good jobs from the tourist office. I had one, and then I mentioned before, I was sent to do work on New Year's Eve or other things. So sent for a couple of weeks to a dead resort with people going to drink the mineral waters or something old and nothing to do. In one of those places I had to pay for the first time for sex. Felix, yeah, the Hungarian border, Rada. Felix, to be short. So we went, I mentioned him with Claire. We had done a tour together, a week in the country. Then those English people went to the sea. I got friendly with Claire. I was thinking I'm going to marry her and she would take me out of this nightmare, this communist hell. And that was it. That's in 1989. Now it's 1990, and I get a call from Stephen. He says, "Oh, how are you? Fine. So listen, I'm going to the west. I don't think he mentioned Switzerland. How about this? I need. I think he mentioned something like if you have, being a guides, especially those like him. So that's something I mean." How come he didn't have like 10,000? And maybe he had 10,000, but he wanted some more from me, and so that he could make much more. There's one who's a tycoon in furniture. Others one who has one of the biggest travel agencies. He was the minister of tourism. From being guides and from being as guides, they had big bucks, big earning assignments, because they had the connections. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That was one slogan. So he says, okay, I need 1,000 or 1,500 if you have, because I have an opportunity to bring something from there, from the West, and when I come here, I'll give you the money back immediately, no problem, because I'm making some. And as for what's in it for you, I'll bring you back something. How about a car? I'll come back with a car, and I'll bring you a car. And I said, okay, I'll give you, I don't remember the details, it's something like that. About 3,000, I guess I had. I mean, I had more, I didn't give him all, but I had some more, and this I thought can be, it's safe hands. I know the fellow, a bit friendly when we went together. So, nice job. Looked a bit like De Niro. He had the charisma. He had so much to speak for. Blink, but this is blink in error. Blink about thinking without thinking, progressive market level. Sometimes you make mistakes. We tend to make an assessment in seconds, one whole minute, but you make mistakes also. So, okay, but my car tops 1,000, no more. So you can use the rest, you give it to me back, and if you bring a car, thank you, not more than 1,000. I can't afford more. And then I also knew that people were coming back with some cars and 500 Deutschmarks, old cars, of course, 15, 20 years. Okay, so we had a deal, and I give him the money, he's off, and then the week he will be back, it's finished. A week, I think he said a week. Nothing, no call. Then 10 days, then 2 weeks, and I start calling, but he's evading. Yes, I came back. Oh, it's just that I had some things to do here, and I don't know. My sister got sick. You see what I mean? Who knows what? But I'm going to call you soon, and we'll just see each other. It's no problem. Everything's fine. I came back fine. It's all right. But again, I don't remember the details. The 2 weeks turned into 3, and then a month has gone, and we're still no money back and no car. And eventually, what I had to do was, this guy is not paying back anything, and he will just push it until you accept the situation. And what can you do? And we didn't have anything signed. Not that helps. I'm getting there. I will soon, in the next couple of episodes or so, but in the next few months, in real history, I would make another deal with papers this time, but papers don't help. I will find out. So what I did, I gathered a team of thugs. It was Socrates, it was Adrian, it was Uncle Sandu, and then a friend of Uncle Sandu. They were friends and going together, and we met. We would meet again, and then it was with Miss Romania, with this American, funny guys, joking all the time, also big, heavy, big. And I went to this Stefan's house and said, one thing I did, I did have a guarantee for him, a Dacia car. That's what, $300 guarantee for 3,000. No, it wasn't like that. It would have been worth more, but not the amount. And said, look, you owe these guys money because I owe them some. We had some things, and we have some things together, and we did have. Socrates and I were already. In fact, in the communist days, in the autumn of 1989, when I met Socrates in geophysics, we were both going to graduate geophysics, and I met him because I interrupted sabbatical, it's called in the West. In this case, I knew I don't want to work in the field. I don't want to finish soon. Because in the coming days they said, okay, you go to Drobeta. That's the paper I got at the end. But by the end, at university, we're talking already spring of 1990. Finished with the coming days, and I didn't go to work as a geophysicist one day. Not one day. I didn't have to anymore. But in the coming days, they said that, my friend, you're in the fields, you're in the cold. That's it. No more. Well, maybe some guiding, but it would have been very difficult. That's an alternative again, thread of history. Let's not speculate on that. But I met Socrates, autumn of 1989, as a new guy. New series. They were coming from. I was going to finish my studies, and we found that we had some. He had skills. I hope he still has them because it's crisis, and we're in the same business together. He has 70%. He has 69 now. He gave 1% to somebody, and I have 14, and the rest is divided between 3 other people. And I was bringing him shoes from Unira department, so he was selling them in the dormitory where he stayed, because he was not born in Bucharest. He was not from Bucharest. He was a student from outside. And coming back, Stefan eventually said, okay, I spent all the money on a car, and the car is in this mechanic's shop here, which was like 200 meters from Victory Square, from the building of the government, as it happens. And then the adventures continue with that car. I mean, in the end, aspirator de femei, I think. It was crucial. I mean, if I had affairs with a few hundred women in the next few years, 1990, I was crucial, and then my continuous talking was essential in the case of 10, and maybe I convinced one with some other chance if there were any, but the rest is the car. The car was having a yacht, I don't know, it's a super jet going around with you, and so that women, girls, people can see it. And it had a fantastic effect. They would vote for the car, aka airplane. It was dramatic in those days when you had only Dacia cars, and then even those were, who knows, 600, 700 in all. I'm exaggerating. Stylistic purposes. And then the Dacia had the jokes. Why do we have heating on a rear window of a Dacia? To keep your hands warm when you push.